I don't get it why you and people like you think all I can do is, gosh, put up a hell of a fight. Like, that's all I'm capable of. Like, that's the best I can do. For one reason and one reason only. And it's not for the fame, it's not for the glory. It's so that everybody knows, and it proves that when I step foot in this ring, there is nobody better than Daniel Bryan. How could you understand the hunger, understand the desire that I have for holding that WWE Championship just once? That's all I want, is once. How could you understand that? And you can't. And there it is. Clear and simple, plain as day.
What's good, everybody? My name is The Generation 71. Thank you for tuning back into Behind the Scenes of the WWE. Today we're going to go behind the scenes with the Daniel Bryan, the Yes Man, to see exactly who he is behind the cameras. Because in case you didn't know, what you usually see on TV isn't what's going on in real life. Another reason why I decided to choose Daniel Bryan for this week is because of his recent announcement earlier this week. I say week a lot, apparently. But his announcement earlier this week with his decision to vacate the Intercontinental title. And a lot of people are up in arms trying to figure out exactly why he vacated it, because no such information has been disclosed if it's an on-screen injury or an off-screen injury. And essentially, I'll explain the difference real quick. Now, when you have an on-screen injury, essentially what that means is you were actually injured on purpose. Now, it doesn't mean that somebody just went out and tried to break your leg maliciously, but it was actually done on purpose because you needed some time off. Because in case you didn't know, a lot of the major wrestlers that you see are on the road 11 months out of the whole year. So they hardly ever get to see their families. They miss a bunch of birthday parties, weddings, Kwanzas, anything like that. They miss a bunch of special events because of all the touring they do. It's not only the TV shows that they're doing, they're also doing house shows at certain places. Sometimes they're doing a European tour, a Mexican tour, overseas to our troops tour. So they're on the road 11 months out of the year most of the time. So what an on-screen injury allows the wrestler to do is to actually have something contribute to his personal storyline for his character without losing too much momentum. But anytime you do an on-screen injury, you're still going to lose momentum because you're out of the public's eye. But it is beneficial for a lot of wrestlers that just need some time off. They want to spend time with their family, or maybe they're just really beaten up that the injury that they're faking on screen isn't really the injury that they're trying to heal, and that happens a lot of the time if you guys didn't know. What an off-screen injury, of course, is a real injury. So because these wrestlers are putting their bodies on the line every single night, I don't care what people say, if you're being thrown to the floor constantly, you're bound to get hurt eventually. So an off-screen injury is kind of like the on-screen injury, but of course, that's just real. So people just need time to heal that. So that is the controversy kind of surrounding Daniel Bryan right now, because a lot of people don't know if this is just an on-screen injury, if people are he just is needing to take some time to heal up or rest, or maybe spend time with his family, with his wife, which is Brie Bella, in case you didn't know, or if it's something where it is actually real that he is dealing with an injury. There's been apparently a bunch of rumors, one of them being that an MRI actually reached the public, that the MRI left Daniel Bryan's left shoulder, and that something didn't look right, so he had to take a longer, I guess, vacation, the best way to put it. So that's a thing where it brings up an interesting topic, and it's a topic that it's going to be kind of sensitive to some people, especially wrestlers, but it is something where it's becoming more and more well-known, especially with people being attracted towards Twitter and, wrestlers actually tweeting out their personal feelings. In this business, you have a tendency to want to be the best, of course, because if you are the best, quote unquote, like John Cena status, of course you're going to make more money, and that's in the end what a lot of people do. Yes, they want to be good wrestlers, they want to be the best in the world, but they also want to make sure they get a paycheck. And in that process, a lot of people tend to think, hey, if I take this guy out, then all of a sudden I get his spot, I get pushed more, I get more into the public's eye, and more people are, buying my stuff, merchandise, so I make more money. And so I personally feel that maybe this might have been the case with Daniel Bryan if he's actually injured, because it's no secret that the WWE company doesn't necessarily want Daniel Bryan to be the face of the company. I mean, it was the same thing with CM Punk. It was the same thing with a lot of different wrestlers throughout the years. And so it could be possible that some of the opponents that Daniel Bryan has been wrestling with in the last couple of months, even the last year, might not have been taking it so easy on him to the point that they were actually trying to injure him. And as much as I hate to say it, this isn't something new. This is something that has been happening for a very, very long time now. So I just hope that isn't the case, but I figured it should be so. But anyways, now we'll go into Daniel Bryan. So with Daniel Bryan, I mean, a lot of what his persona is actually kind of close to what he is behind the scenes. I mean, there was a big point that he was actually promoting that he was vegan on TV, and he was actually vegan in real life. Later on, of course, when he actually started touring more with the WWE, he actually stated that he wasn't a vegan anymore because it's hard to find that type of food everywhere that you travel. And then essentially also he ended up building up a soy intolerance. So of course that's a big part of being vegan as well. So it's interesting to see that there was one of those things to make his character at the time more of a heel-like character, say, hey, I'm better than you. I don't eat meat. I don't kill people. So, or don't kill people. Don't kill animals. Another big thing with Daniel Bryan's like in-ring persona as well is the fact that he just became so popular off of something so simple, and it was either the word no or either the word yes. And it's crazy to see, you know, how something so small became so big in such a small period of time, because it was within a couple of months that he actually received a lot of popularity. Now, of course, for Daniel Bryan, before he actually reached the WWE, he wrestled all over the world. He wrestled in Japan. He was actually known as the American Dragon. He also wrestled in Ring of Honor, and he was one of the few people, along with, I was about to say Heath Slater, with CM Punk, and as well as, I'm trying to remember his name, the current WWE champion, Seth Rollins. They were one of the very few wrestlers that not only held the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion to the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So there was a nice little coincidence there. But like I said, Daniel Bryan had wrestled all around the world before he reached the WWE. And what a lot of people don't realize as well is Daniel Bryan actually entered the WWE early into his career, apparently couldn't cut it, left towards Ring of Honor, did some more stuff in Japan, and then came back and became the big persona that he is today. So again, it's one of those instances where you shouldn't give up on your first try. You should just keep trying. And I mean, hey, you might fail every single time, but if you don't try, what are you going to be doing? So I think Daniel Bryan is another great example of that as well. And with the promo you saw at the beginning, that is what kind of Daniel Bryan believes. In the end, he's one of those few people that, yes, he cares about money because he needs to pay the bills, but in the end, he just wants to be the best wrestler in the world, which I believe a lot of what he does is great. It definitely gets the crowd engaged. I wouldn't say the best technical wrestler in the world, at least in history. I still give that to probably Eddie Guerrero or Chris Benoit. But funny thing about that, with Daniel Bryan, he actually took a lot of his wrestling style and based it off Chris Benoit as well as Dean Malenko. And eventually, when he actually learned a little bit more jiu-jitsu, kind of crafted out his own little style of wrestling. But as you can see in one of his signature moves, he has a flying headbutt as well as technically the crippler crossface, which is now the yes lock, but used to be the label lock. Used to be called so many different things. That's another attribution to Chris Benoit as well. Besides that, not too much more to go into with Daniel Bryan. Just a kind of fun fact, apparently when he was out traveling, he came home, he saw that his house was being robbed. And instead of, doing the normal thing of saying, hey, I should probably call the police, he actually chased down one of the one of the robbers, and actually held him in a rear naked choke until the police arrived. So when most people would have probably called the police, he was like, nah, son, I got this, and just started choking him. And apparently with the catch of the robber, he actually managed to catch, or it led to the arrest of 5 other robbers within that area, which was kind of interesting. Last but not least, apparently in a town of, I think, Yankton, Washington, I can't pronounce that right. The mayor there actually officially named a certain day as Daniel Bryan Day. So as you can tell, Daniel Bryan is definitely loved all over the U.S. as well as internationally, and he's definitely one of the best wrestlers of this era. I will say, not one of the best wrestlers of all. Well, okay, one of the best wrestlers of all time, but then I have like 100 people there. So. But alright guys, I think I'm going to cut it there for now. As always, if you definitely like this series, definitely leave a like, leave a comment down below. What wrestler do you want me to do next? I do have a couple on the back burner, but then again, leave a suggestion. I will definitely get to it as soon as I can. But anyways, this has been the Generation 71, and we'll catch you guys later.